place all these bones and get them correct, working on a local axis. I often turn off bone edit mode if I want to rotate the entire chain just to get it lined up. Because we're going with straight rotations here, no I-case solvers or anything, we don't need to worry too much about our joints becoming misaligned and being exact, but obviously we want our joints to be in the correct spots and working the way they should. That looks about correct. You shouldn't try and copy things with bone edit mode on as well. What you'll find is you'll get really weird things happening to the bones when you do it. Make sure your bone edit mode is off. What I'm going to do is, now that I've got one chain, I can easily copy it over and place it for the next finger. Making sure it's rotated and on the right axis and following the mesh as closely as possible. Getting any of your joints wrong in a character can cause a lot of problems when you start to animate. I've had people ask me, why doesn't my rig deform properly? And when I look at it, it really has nothing to do with skin or how they've skinned the character. It has to do with the way that they've rigged the character in the first place, and that it just isn't a sound rig. If you notice, once again, our nub bones are becoming misaligned. Again, deleting them and recreating them is a great way of fixing it. So these first three fingers are very similar in the way they're done. Just making sure the joints are in the correct spot and that they're orientated correctly. You really can't go that much wrong with them. Delete that and just recreate that end bone. Do the baby finger next. And in this case, we're going to need a joint that actually goes much further back in the hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this joint back first to where it needs to be. And this is going to help us with a cupping action so we can rotate this whole joint down and around the hand a bit. Now we're missing a joint now, so I'm just going to say refine and refine in a new bone. That has to be just about one of my favorite tools in the Max bones, is being able to refine them on the fly. It can really help make short work. Of getting your bones set up correctly. Now for the thumb joint, something I've noticed a lot is people miss the first joint of the thumb. They actually just don't create it. And if you look at the way your thumb bends, it's no different than a finger. It has 3 joints, not 2, but the first is buried way back in the hand. Without that, you can't actually grab anything. When modeling a hand as well, you have to make sure that you model it correctly. The thumb is not laid flat like the rest of the fingers. If you put your hand flat on a table and look at the direction that your thumb nail points compared to your fingernails, you'll notice it's almost at a 90-degree angle to them, pointing off on an angle.